What's up, guys? It's Tash.
This is Grant.
This is Indiebnb.
Tonight we talked to Barbara Volk out of the Pacific Northwest in beautiful Seattle and Portland. And we had a great conversation with him. Talked a little duck truck. Here we go. Roll the tape.
Welcome back to Indiebnb. We are joined today by the band Barbara Volk. We're here with Kyle and Nick. Kyle and Nick, how are y'all today?
Good.
Doing great.
Glad to have you
here.
We got the recommendation from y'all from our buddies in High Crime. So we're glad that we were able to get y'all on.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm good buddies with Mitch and Brielle, so it's very, very kind of them to reach out on our behalf, and glad we're able to connect.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and so for those of y'all listening, Nick's in Portland, Kyle's in Seattle. So let's start there. How does this band work like that?
Nicholas,
Kyle, I'll take it here. It's funny. I was living in Colorado for a long time. I moved out to the Northwest, and moved to Portland, and we had always talked about getting back together and kind of making music again. And it was funny, I was like, man, if I'm in Portland, Kyle's in Seattle, that's starting to feel pretty realistic, in regards to even if we're driving a little bit, that's still feeling like you can put a band together again, which felt really good. That being said, and then COVID came and we found ourselves inside of our homes and started just kind of assembling. I would say Barbara Volk as a band really kicked off in we'll get into this later with our own histories with each other, just being lifelong friends and stuff. But as a band probably kicked off in late summer, fall of 2019. Mm-hmm. And we're doing, numerous trips back and forth. Some of us going to I would go to Seattle the weekend, Kyle would come down here. And we just started kind of recording demos down here a lot, and putting together a lot of songs. And it just kind of took off from there. And then honestly, it was built, the band itself was kind of built for a pandemic in the sense that we were, you're running FaceTimes back and forth. We started to put together demos that we pieced together parts to. So Kyle would lay down some vocals, some guitars, we're writing songs simultaneously. And then I would kind of edit the videos together and put them together in a way that it was shareable and we could kind of get them out to a fan base and an audience, which is a blast, to be honest.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I would say we actually started writing more once, everything shut down because of the pandemic. Because before that, anytime we'd really write stuff was, us traveling on the weekends, either him to Seattle or myself to Portland. And, once we couldn't do that, we started doing video chats like this. It kind of forced us to get creative in that way. And we realized that it actually worked really well for us. Almost to the point, we could have been doing this for years from, different parts of the country. But obviously it is nice that we are close in the same region and stuff. So when things kind of start to open back up again, we won't be too far. But yeah, lots of writing just like this, like we're doing now.
Yeah, and so y'all had been in bands together previous to Barbara Volk, is that correct?
Oh, it goes way back. Yeah. So Nick and I, just for background, we've known each other since, we went to the same grade school. So I can't even remember the
first
exact
grade,
age.
second grade,
very little. And we both started playing music around middle school, I would say. And him and I, we were buddies, became buddies at school, became buddies through music, started playing together back then. In Nick's family's basement. We kind of didn't really have bands, but we learned how to play songs and covers and stuff like that. And Nick actually didn't even play the piano yet. It was just all it was rock and roll, just guitars and drums and bass and stuff. And then
That's right.
As we got into high school, our music tastes kind of evolved with one another's, I would say, and started playing together more and more, and really got comfortable with improv and stuff, and just kind of going down in his basement and playing around and It was around high school when we first started writing songs together. Roadside Traveler, I believe, was our first song that we wrote together.
That's right. It was like two Missouri kids that had never really gone anywhere writing songs about roadside traveling. We had done neither of those things.
It just felt right. It sounded good. And then, so we went to the same grade school and the same high school. And honestly, by just kind of chance, we both went to the same college. And it was a small school in Denver. And neither of us really made that decision to go to college together, like to go to the same school. It just kind of similar interests and similar backgrounds kind of just brought us to the same place. And we had some other friends there, and we played in a band in college, wrote together. And then Nick and I even had like sort of a side project in college where we were writing more stuff in the sort of folk world, stepping away from the electric sound, the jamming and stuff like that. So I would say that was kind of what we had done up until Nick moved up to this neck of the woods. And then that's when Barbara Volk happened.
So this is basically a lifelong project that's finally come together in the past year and a half or so.
When you say it that way, I guess that's true.
Y'all can use that in y'all's bio if you want.
Perfect. Yeah, I already wrote it down right here. That's great.
So what was y'all's, kind of your influences growing up that kind of molded y'all into the artist you are today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like, we grew up, we were lucky enough to come from families that I think had a pretty deep reverence for like the classic rock world. My dad being like a classic rock like DJ back in the day, and like Kyle's family too, just being like Kyle's dad being a musician as well. Like it kind of, I think, brought us up with an appreciation for kind of like an older sound, and always were kind of raised with that. And you grow up and you kind of go through phases of like different genres that you appreciate and dip in and out of. But I think it was always kind of like, you're learning Beatles songs in like the 5th, 6th grade, whatever it is. Like, and as time goes on, like, I think you start to develop and you start to like nerd out a little bit more about like music history, like where stuff comes from, where it's delineated from, whether it's like us. I think by the time we were in like high school, we were branching much more into like soul music, jazz, blues, like starting to like look at more like early roots driven stuff and how that would have otherwise influenced like classic rock sounds and like other sounds. And I guess like as far as playing, it's funny. I mean, you're listening to it and then you're like, of course you're mimicking these sounds that you're hearing in your own respective kind of voice too. So like we've always, I think I tend to think like we draw from a lot of different genres in ways that like keeps things feeling like really fresh for us, even, because you're like, whether you're playing guitar, piano, drums, like it's cool to throw in different elements of like gospel, blues, jazz, like, and you kind of find your voice within that too. So long-winded way of saying we started one place and wound up somewhere else. Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed about y'all was I thought y'all had a very 1960s vibe too, in a really good way. Because I grew up listening to a lot of the same things with my old man. But with that being said, what's with your influences? What kind of begins the songwriting process for you when y'all get together, or if you're doing it virtually? Who brings what, or what instrument comes first, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on the song, I would say. It's sometimes you'll just get struck with some sort of inspiration one way or another, whether it's a melody or whether it's a concept, whether it's just a chord progression. Like we've had moments where Nick's like telling his dog to get off the couch, and he starts, you start singing something about, oh, get off the couch, no. And it's a kind of a melody comes to mind, and you come up with little things like that, and you're like, maybe this could work, you just kind of like throw it out there, and we'll throw little things, little bits and pieces, back and forth to one another. And, a lot of the stuff doesn't stick. You know, a lot of it we kind of sit down and try to figure it out. And then a lot of stuff does. Some stuff we might come back to days, months, or even years later where we go, oh, we had that one cool little section here. But as far as like, you know, how we piece it together, I wouldn't really say there's one consistent way we do it. It just kind of depends on, you know, did we come up with a cool melody first? Did we come up with a cool lyric concept first? But I can definitely say if we try to sit down with nothing, like just try to start from scratch, then it can be a little bit more difficult. You know, you might not come up with something that you love quite as much. So it's when you have those little moments of inspiration, just, you know, learning when to capture those moments and write them down, record them, shoot a video, and then call each other, whatever we have to do to remember it. But yeah, Nick, I don't know if you had anything to add there.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like when I feel like when we were first writing songs, even remotely, it was like we were kind of giving ourselves deadlines just to be. We were like, you know, we'll try to put out like a song a week or a song every other week, sort of thing. And I think like assigning deadlines did give us, in a sense, just like a lot of things, right? Like it gives you a sense to put your brain into action and kind of like put things together as quickly as you can in a way that's like creative and you know, I think pulling from, as Kyle was saying, like you're pulling from all these like little moments, be it like melodies or lyrics, like you're always kind of like pulling them, and you never know if they're going to come back and like be a part of a song later on. And like I feel like during the pandemic when we were writing songs, like you would just pull these melodies out where it's just like, okay, we have to get this done, we're putting these songs out. And it felt, while everything felt like thought out and very original and authentic, like it was also within a deadline. I think that we like really thrived in just cranking out songs too, which was awesome.
Is that like kind of why you guys were putting out demos on your YouTube page and would just put out like a demo of a song, but not necessarily like the, you know, right before it was, you know, going through, you know, all the way to Spotify or anything like that? Like I know, you know, Blush and Lemonade are both demos on your YouTube page, but not necessarily, you know, weren't a part of the EP and getting that on the Spotify. So like that kind of was part of your process, just like, hey, we're gonna put these out and, you know, get them out there. Or
yeah, it felt like, sorry, Kyle, it felt like it was kind of like a product. It was very much like a product of the times. Just like, I mean, even early COVID, it felt like a lot of artists were doing these kind of like live feeling, but I'm at home sort of performances. So we're like, that's a neat thing to tap into. I think at the same time, you know, you're working within the capabilities and things you have available to you. Like we were able to piece together these songs in ways that was like, you know, it'd be awesome to share that. Why not share these out right now? If we can't get in a recording studio right now, at least we can like share these new songs that are like wholly us, and like put it out there. And that felt like that was such an awesome thing to be able to do, you know?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I noticed the live at home. I mean, was that like you guys were, hey, like I feel like we need to get together and just jam, and you know, we'll put it out there and, you know, see how it goes, or, you know, what was the kind of the thought process with doing the live at home stuff? I know a lot of people were doing it, but, you know, what was specific to you guys that made it, you know, feel pretty, you know, personal?
I think it started off. We planned to get into the studio a lot earlier, but obviously we couldn't with COVID and everything going on, and we didn't know how long that was going to last. We didn't know when we were going to get in the studio, and I think it was a lot of it. Just we didn't want to waste any more time. We just wanted to get our stuff out there. Like we just wanted to see what people thought, and that actually forced us to put stuff out there and actually like hear people's reaction, like get some feedback. And that was when we kind of started, as Nick said, we're like, okay, we should start doing this more and set deadlines. So it really was, it was just us wanting to somehow get our stuff out there for people to hear until we could get into a studio, which ultimately we did. We were able to figure that out, but until we could figure that out, we just had to record however we could. The live from homes, those were done virtually. I was here in Seattle, Nick in Portland, but then some of the other demos like Lemonade or Blush, we actually traveled, and Nick had the supplies to get some better recordings than just the iPhone video from the demos.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
y'all have plans, pre-COVID, like maybe in January or February of last year, did you have plans to maybe start touring at all?
It was funny, Kyle. I like found an email from like not that long ago that was like I had probably sent it out in like I was living in Colorado. You were in Seattle. It was like probably 3 years ago. But it was this whole like some sort of like calculated map as if we had some sort of plan in place, but we didn't.
Yeah.
But like it was like here are the songs we could put together from like our past 10 years of just like going through college and getting out of school and stuff. And like within that was like, yeah, maybe we could like play these songs out in the Northwest. Like, I guess part of it came true in a way, but God, I mean, I would love to, Kyle, I'm sure you're the same way. Like, can't wait to play out. That when that time comes is going to be an absolute blast. Because, I feel like
agree.
Like writing these in a lot of these songs on the EP, I feel like they're very songwriting focused, but like the two of us like love playing out, love feeding off of a crowd's energy, off of like our own energies and pulses and stuff. So like getting to play these new songs live is going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all started this in late 2019 and then ran straight into a pandemic. So has Barbara Volk played like a real live show, like with fans right there in front of you, not just over the internet kind of?
No. I mean, we have not. Nick and I have, shared the stage with one another many times, but not with this project. But we're comfortable playing the songs live and everything. But yeah, I mean, we just haven't had that opportunity to play any of the Barbara Volk songs. Some of the songs that you have heard in our demos are older tunes that we have played together, live before, but nothing that you'd find on our new EP. So I'm very much looking forward to that day.
Yeah, you almost must be going crazy inside to be able to get out and play as this new group. I mean, what a weird situation. It just
I know. Well, I know.
It's like, oh, we can't play live.
Yeah, it's like I gotta like constantly pick up my guitar and play my songs so I remember how to play them.
What do you guys envision the atmosphere and the crowd to be like? I mean, like, what is your if I'm walking in, I've never seen you guys before. What do you guys want to bring to the new person who's never heard Barbara Volk live? How do you want that concert to go and envision that?
It's funny, like from our past, we were always used to like we played plenty of bands that have been, I think, were a lot more rock driven or improv driven. Like, so I think being able to bring an element of not changing the songs entirely, but like being able to, you write the songs in a certain way to record them. And I think like being able to bring that to a live setting where you can showcase, I think, like different parts of it, maybe even give a different, like an elevated experience of those songs live, I think would be an awesome, almost like a unique song per performance. Like would be a really cool way to go about it. You're always kind of feeding off the energy, the environment, the places you're in, like playing, whether it's, you're going to play different at like a cocktail party than some giant stadium or something. I don't know. But yeah, that being said, like, I think being able to create an experience that's memorable and just fun. Just having people getting out and dancing and having fun, like that would be amazing.
That was the first thing my mom was playing it for her, and she was saying, this sounds like something you would swing dance to. That's your shag to. Something. That's kind of a South Carolina thing, but it's something you would shag to and do the whole this deal. And, so I thought that was that's apt. I would love to hear it live and see it, and maybe have a nice lady with me to shag with.
Yeah, no, it's always fun when you're playing a song live. As Nick mentioned, like you might throw in a new section in there, or maybe like an instrumental section or something that you wouldn't have on the on the record, and we just have him and I really enjoy, just building up that energy when you're playing live and feeding off the energy of the crowd. So would be fun. Hopefully we can find you someone to shag and get out there on the dance floor.
Right. It might be tough, but
So the burning question Grant and I have been wondering, because first time we both listened to y'all, we both came to sort of the same conclusion, was, are y'all fans of St. Paul and the Broken Bones?
Yeah, definitely. Anything that's in that sort of soul world, we are probably gonna like it. And yeah, St. Paul and the Broken Bones are an awesome group. Just got that old sound, but fit right in the modern era. So yeah, definitely like them.
Yeah, that was just it's different, but y'all got that same kind of vibe where, and I think it's really the vocals really drive through kind of very similarly. But yeah, I've seen them a few times live, and I can picture y'all doing sort of a similar set. It's very intimate, very. It's not necessarily in your face, but you can build it up to that. It seemed like every song was building to something big at the end, and then they just hit you and brings the house down. So
exactly. Yep.
I can't wait to get back to live music, man. It's just I miss it so much.
That's right.
Totally.
What's next for y'all? What's the next step for y'all?
I think we're looking at some recording, probably another EP in the summertime. At this point, we've got a few songs that are already kind of cooking up as demos right now that we're feeling. I mean, I feel like drawers full of demos at this point, but like ones that really feel collective in a sense. Like I think our takeaway from this past EP was like everything felt cohesive in a way. Each song was individual unto itself, but like it collectively felt like a good body of work. And I think like what we're working towards this summer will likely be the same sort of thing, like 4, 5, 6 songs that all feel like they're one unit of sorts. And hopefully, I mean, man, maybe like down the road playing live, like would of those two bodies of work would be a lot of fun. I think that'd be cool. It gives you a nice set list. And yeah.
I think the burning question, as well, with your EP and obviously it's self-titled, but who's Barbara Volk? I mean, what is that? I Googled Barbara Volk. There's a Dr. Barbara Volk somewhere who just got some free advertising. But
that's it.
No, the lucky guy.
Yeah. I had a feeling that question was coming. So Barbara Volk is the name of a figure from Nick and my past. To be more specific, it was the name of a grade school teacher.
What was her? What is she like a? First grade, second grade? I mean, you guys go on a sweet field trip with her? What was what was kind of the,
So she was our art teacher. So we coming up with a band name was one of those things that was like, it was really exciting. Like we thought it was going to be really fun. And like, while it is fun, you kind of start to drive yourself nuts. Like we just got to pick something. But you also want to pick something that's meaningful to you. Like we had so many band names that like sounded cool or like might have sounded fun or cool, but when it just doesn't really mean much, it was just hard to really connect with any of those names. Like nothing really stuck with us, and so we kind of started playing around with things, names, places from our past, and the name Barbara Volk we just thought it had a nice sound to it. We really do like the way that it sounds, and just stuck with it and haven't gone back.
Have y'all told her that y'all named your band after
her? From what we've been told, she is aware that the band is named after her. Yes.
Oh, y'all gotta talk to her. Y'all gotta go play for the class or something. I mean, like,
yeah,
that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Your art teacher, man. What was her? I mean, did she have a significant impact, or like, I mean, what was is something that happened with her specifically, or just like y'all were just like, man, like she had kind of a sweet name, like let's kind of explore that?
No, she was just a really memorable teacher from the school and from the community. Just a really well-known name within that school.
Okay.
Iconic, legendary teacher, if you will.
Okay.
And
I would say the name also has this like like those words where it's like it almost sounds like one word sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like Barbara Vogue almost sounds like it's just like this weird, like we're just like Barbara Vogue sounds like one word almost.
Yeah.
And I guess we kind of lean on that. We're like, phonetically this sounds kind of cool. Whereas like you probably could have picked it from another teacher from our past where you're like,
Like
Paul
Smith,
Lucy Crenshaw.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that didn't sound good.
Yeah. Well, and also Barbara Volk, like it didn't necessarily just feel like it felt like more than just a name. Like that could be a place or something, or a thing. One word, as Nick put it. It just I don't know, just like the way it sounded.
And it's got it's got a nice tie back. I mean, this being, one of kind of, as we said, like one of the projects, third, fourth project down the road of us playing music together. So this did feel like a cool, like referential way to kind of nod to that, I guess, in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad
whether that was intentional or not, I don't know.
I'm glad y'all put some thought into it. I've heard Dave Grohl talk about that he thinks Foo Fighters is the dumbest name of any band of all time. So I appreciate when people put a good thought into their band name.
Yeah, no, yes, I know what you and I know what Dave Grohl means. Like there are so many names where I'm like, God, I'm so glad we didn't pick that name. Like I can't even remember like some of the ones that came up. It just wouldn't have made sense. It just would have meant nothing to us. So
yeah, there's a reoccurring joke with Tash and I because I like keep coming up. I come up with band names because I thought Tash came up with one of the best like band names ever in college. He was gonna play in a Kings of Leon cover band, and they were all gonna wear Deion Sanders jerseys, and they're gonna be the Kings of Dion. So I feel like I was like, dude, I can come up with something like that. That sounds good. So I was like, hey Tash, it'll be a great band name, dude. Fucking duck truck. It's like you put ducks and trucks on the thing. Like I thought that was like a really good idea, and like Tash is like, hey, that's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Like
wow.
I can't.
Hey, I dig it, but like I think we had names like that too, where we just like put words that kind of rhyme together. And also you find like when you're trying to think of a band name, like everything is taken. Like I'm surprised Barbara Volk wasn't taken as a band name. It's just like if you just Google any band name or any name that can be a cool band name, I assure you there's a band out there with that name. It's just crazy.
I feel like at this point just how much you're plugging duck truck, like I feel like that's got to be taken right now. Someone had to have that.
Well, Hedonistas might be right.
Our buddy Hedonistas said they're gonna write a song called Duck Truck, so you got to jump on that if you want to beat them to it. So yeah, Grant, he's got.
Yeah, we'll report back on that.
Throw some quacks in there, it'd be great.
That's right.
I got a whole list of them. If you ever look, you guys ever come back on it? Tron Sexico is one of my other ones. Electric Whistle, Devil's Three-Way, Hottest Regards, The Same Glove, Slut Shoes, and Pierced Tears. So those are kind of a little bit more darker. But
yeah, we just got all this. Kyle just wrote all this down. That's great.
Yeah, those are awesome. And they're all kind of in a similar world to Duck Truck too. Like you clearly have a style, of a band name that you like.
That's cool. Yeah. It's kind of it's like a lifestyle,
Yeah.
Duck Truck
more of a lifestyle.
You live that.
Grant is Duck Truck. Well, hell, I think that's a great segue right into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions.
Yes.
We're gonna ride the duck truck right over here to Pete Peterson's body pack of questions. All right, so it's gonna be rapid
quack
fire.
Quack, baby.
Quack. Let's go. We're gonna ride. Basically, I think one of y'all go first. So we'll either go Kyle or Nick first. So y'all pick, and then we're just gonna go. It's rapid fire, either or questions, and then we'll have a little bit of a longer term question at the end. But so we'll kick it off right now. Who's starting?
Kyle, you want to go first?
Yeah. Should we stick to that for every question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do
All
it.
right, here we
All
go.
right.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go first. Pressure's on.
Right. Toast or bagels in the morning?
Toast. Do I need to give a reason, or do I just give like a one-word answer?
No.
Or
One word.
Okay.
Oh, and then kicking over to me, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, bagels.
bagels. All right. Are aliens real or nah?
Yeah.
For sure.
Bigfoot, is he real or not?
Oh, even
yeah.
even more so.
Yes.
Okay, a couple of Bigfoot and alien nerds. Cake or pie?
I'm a pie guy.
Okay.
Pie guy, are you a pie guy? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Cake. I'm gonna
we
go
have
cake.
we're going cake. All right. Tenders or wings?
Wings.
Good tenders. Wings are a mess.
See,
All
this
right,
is good.
books.
This is why we work well together. You know.
balance out.
Yeah. Books or podcasts? What are you spending your time doing? Reading books or listening to podcasts?
Probably, if I had to pick one, I'd probably go book.
Good books. Lots of books.
All right. I don't know if you guys drink or not. This has happened where people don't drink, and then I ask them this question. I feel stupid, but PBR or Bud Light?
You know, we're both originally from St. Louis, so like I feel like I should say Bud Light, but I'm gonna go PBR.
I'd go PBR. If you said Bud Heavy, I'd go Bud Heavy. Would probably be my answer.
Okay.
All right.
You guys are both Pacific Northwest guys. Which company do you cheer for more, Amazon or Microsoft?
I'm gonna go Microsoft.
All right.
Yeah, Microsoft feels a little less sinful than Amazon.
All right. You guys both enjoy sunrises or sunsets?
I'm gonna go sunsets. I mean, I love a good sunrise, but I'm just not always there for sunrise. Whereas sunset, I won't miss them. You know.
Yeah.
I'll catch it on the back end. I'll say sunrises. Waking up,
Sunrise.
dews on the ground, nice cup of coffee.
Yes.
Just hear like the duck truck rolling by. Yeah.
Hey, you party all night guys or day drinking guys?
I feel like I'm more of just like I used to love both of those things. Now I'm just like party at appropriate times, you know. So if I had to pick one, I mean, the thing about like day drinking, I'm just exhausted by like midday, and then drink all night, I'm miserable the next day. So it's like this is tough.
Where do you insert the fun? Yeah.
I'm gonna say day drink.
Day drink's fun. Yeah.
I'm like a good day drink. All right, you guys like to go to a party formal or casual?
I'll go casual.
Yeah, I'll go casual to an extent. As I'm wearing a fucking buttoned-up shirt right now, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, how do you take your wine, red or white?
Red, easy.
Red, yeah.
All right, red wine. A little bit of UB40 up in here. All right.
All right.
You guys like the robot dance better or the worm dance better? What do you like doing better?
Oh, doing the robot. I would not even try doing the worm right now.
Yeah, the worm, you're pulling at least 3 discs in your back. I feel like the robot is pretty harmless.
I like that. Chips or pretzels?
Are we talking soft pretzels or are we talking like Rolls Golds?
Good question.
Chips or pretzels? Either one.
Probably go chips.
Yeah, probably go chips.
It's chipping. They're chipping. All right. Paper or plastic?
Paper all day. There's
paper.
Way too much plastic out there.
Yeah, paper.
All right. Buffalo wings. Do you take them with ranch or blue cheese?
I think ranch. Dude. People who like blue cheese are like delusional.
Well, this is weird because I would probably go blue cheese.
And how did Barbara Volk break up?
He said blue cheese. I said bread.
All right. St. Patty's Day versus Valentine's Day. Which one do you like more?
I go St. Patty's.
St. Patty's Day. Valentine's Day is a manufactured holiday. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking back, that was kind of a shitty question because now I'm realizing Valentine's Day sucks and you get wasted on St. Patty's Day. So that was tough. We're gonna learn from that one. All right. Would you rather go do an hour's worth of painting or an hour's worth of pottery?
I mean, I did a pottery class last year, and it's tricky. It's a lot of very therapeutic, very fun. I might go painting though at the end of the day.
Yeah, I have no experience with pottery, so like I've never done that in my life, and I feel like I'm kind of at an age where like I'm just not going to do that. So it's I'm just gonna.
Kyle, the last time you did pottery was probably with Sister Barbara, with Barbara Volk.
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
How appropriate. All right. Is love at first sight real or not?
Yeah, I'd like to believe so.
I would hope so. You know, it's fun to believe that it is. Do I know anyone who's fallen in love at first sight? No. Has anyone? Probably not. But I think it's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. And the final Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. What are some bands that we ought to know about that are, you guys are friends with, or that are, just awesome that you appreciate? And, we'd love to, hear about, we love learn about new bands and understanding. So, tell me about, I guess, give me a top 3 for both you guys of who we should be checking out and who we should be listening to and who our listeners should be listening to.
Yeah. Are we saying friends, like people that we know, or are you suggesting like
just like
anybody?
Who's a band that we may not know that we should be listening to?
That's a good question.
Let's see. There's a band called that I just discovered called Gabriel's. They're amazing. And it's made up of it's the composer from this new documentary called Some Kind of Heaven, and that's incredible if you haven't seen that. That being said, they're a cool group. They do a lot of it's 2 music producers. One guy is and then a singer who's like heavily rooted in gospel and roots music. It's awesome.
Right.
Nice.
Gabriel's. Nice.
Well, I can definitely say that one artist that Nick and I will that we will always advocate for, and we will always push, that everyone's heard of him, but I don't think enough people are listening to Fats Domino. Go listen to Fats Domino.
Fats Domino is very underrated.
Very underrated. He's doing like Beatle covers and stuff that probably no one knows about. Check it out.
Fats Domino. I like it.
Who else, Kyle? Let's see.
I know. I'm like trying to think of someone who you guys might not know. I think I'm just like overthinking it. Who have I been listening to?
Yeah, this is.
Feel free to take that.
You're like, it's hard to think of. I was trying to think of who are some bands I've been listening to, and I'm like, I can hear the song, but I'm like, I can't remember their name now.
Yeah. Totally. Well, and you don't want to do someone you're like everybody would know. You got to dig deep. I mean, in Northwestern, Haley Hendricks up here is she's awesome. If you get a chance, her music is really cool.
Hendricks. All right.
Well, man, this is tough. I mean, Aaron, we've been listening to a lot of the new neo, kind of neo soul, retro throwback sort of music. Aaron Frazier is really cool. He's from Duran Jones and the Indications.
Duran Jones and the Indications. If you don't,
Duran Jones and the Indications is great. Lee Fields is great.
A lot of them.
Menahan Street Band is incredible. there's a band called the Cactus Channel that puts out some cool stuff. They're all kind of in this like new age, like kind of throwback vibe, and they're awesome.
I love it. I love it. Well, we will take a look.
Man. That's how this whole podcast started. Was Grant and I would just like find new bands, but oh, you got to check these guys out, and they were like, "What if we just started a podcast and just started talking about this?" And then here we are. You know,
Here we are.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Years later, and we are glad to have Barbara Volk on. Would love to have y'all back on, and would love to see y'all play live. So if y'all ever get to the South, we will be in the front row doing the
Excellent.
Doing the what was it, Grant? What kind of dance did you want to do?
Dude, we're gonna shag. You know, the South Carolina. You know, even about that Charleston down style. You know, shag.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
That's how the duck trucks do it.
That's right. But
That's right.
It's been a pleasure having y'all on tonight, and we look forward to talking to y'all again.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here. Thanks for having us. Looking forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, man. Y'all take care.
Of course.
Awesome. You as well, guys. Take care.
Bye. See you guys.